So tasty. Wonder how much protein is in this. Hey everybody, welcome to the Mud Jug One channel. I am your host. We have a special show planned for you folks today. Now, if you're new to this channel, as I'm chomping on this celery, this bird food, this is a channel that is formed around the topic of smokeless tobacco products. What I like to do is I like to talk about things that affect me or that are of some sort of concern for my viewers, and this is one of them. Veganism. So, before we get started, let's pack us a little Lipsky of that American-made tobacco. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, we are going to be talking about health concerns and vegan versus meat, etc., today. And meanwhile, I'm packing my lip with what most people think is really bad for you, but really it's not that bad. I'm just saying. So, here we go. Now, remember, we're talking about veganism here, vegans versus meat, and tobacco is a plant product. I'm just saying. We do have a new spittoon, a new Mud Jug roadie to spit in. It's the new Dragon Balls roadie. Now, I brought a couple of them out here because they are going to be somewhat different when people buy these. I just want to show a little bit of variety. Some will have this guy on. I know he's a main guy, and not all of them will. I'm just trying to be upfront with everybody. So here we go. That's what you get. A lot of Dragon Balls fans out there, believe it or not. I don't know why, but hey, I'll spit to that. So a lot of people may be wondering, Mud Jug One, why are you talking about this topic? Well, the reason is because in the last 6 months, I've made some major changes in my diet, in my workout, so on and so forth. Also, I have two sisters, okay? They're both what I call vegan crusaders, okay? You guys know what I'm talking about. A lot of reasons why vegans choose to be vegan, and not all of them, I'm generalizing here, is that because they think it's a moral issue. They're all into saving animals, and animals have feelings, and so on and so forth. Okay, I can understand that. There are vegan crusaders out there that make you look like and feel like Satan himself because you eat eggs in the morning for breakfast, okay? I think that's the wrong way to go about it, to be honest. But it is what it is. So, moving forward, I want to let everybody know that I have made some changes. I actually am eating 95% of everything I eat now is organic. The only thing that I don't eat that's not organic is meat. So what I'm doing is I am considering replacing some of my meat for my meals with plant-based protein. So I've been doing the research, and I'm doing it only for health purposes. It's important for me because I'm getting older and I want to do what's best for my health. So the biggest concern for me is protein, getting protein. Now let me back up. Most people, they eat for taste. Let's face it, that's why there are so many people who are unhealthy and who are overweight. I do not eat for taste. Do I like to have my food taste good? Yes, but I take health over my food tasting good. This is the problem with most people. Burgers taste great. Pizza's amazing. Bacon is freaking glorious. But it'll kill you. So I have actually cut back since I've made changes to my diet. I've added supplements. I'm eating organic. I actually have cut back my protein intake about 30%, not down to 30%. I've reduced it 30% of what it used to be. And I've actually seen some major results with eating organic, lowering my protein intake, and taking other vitamins and supplements, adding that into the mix. I've seen amazing results because of it. But I want to take it another step further, and that's why I'm considering switching out meat with plant-based. Here's the problem. It's the protein and the high level of carbs. I recently watched a couple documentaries. I suggest you watch them. I suggest you watch Fed Up. I suggest you watch Food Inc. It talks about the GMOs and the chemicals and shit that go into all these foods. Not good. And I suggest you watch The Game Changers. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is in The Game Changers talking about how great it is to be vegan. Hilarious, right? This documentary, The Game Changers, really focuses on endurance athletes and strength athletes. They don't focus on people who are bodybuilder type people, and I consider myself a bodybuilder in the fact that I am trying to be healthy as I can internally and spiritually, but I'm also building my physique, my body, to look how I want it to look. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder and compete and all that stupid shit. I just want to look and feel good about myself. The Game Changers focused on strength athletes and endurance athletes. They did not mention bodybuilders. Now, granted, I know there are some bodybuilders out there. All the vegan crusaders are going to come out and tell me there's vegan bodybuilders. None of them have won anything, okay? They haven't won a damn thing. The big concern is getting the protein you need, not only the protein, but certain types of protein, proper protein when it comes to amino acid profiles, and we'll get a little technical here, people. I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, but I know a thing or two about a thing or two, okay? Getting the proper amount and proper type of protein from plant-based stuff versus meat. I did some research. I had to look it up because my biggest argument before doing research was the type of protein and the amount of peas or the amount of beans you gotta eat to get the protein you need as far as a bodybuilder. One of the major reasons why I mentioned bodybuilding versus endurance and strength athletes is because if you have to consume X amount of beans versus X amount of chicken to get the same amount of protein, you're consuming a larger amount of carbs in those beans. And when you want your six pack at 40 some plus years old like I have, you can't be consuming that many carbs. You can't do it. Unless you're on the good stuff, if you know what I'm saying, you can't do it. It's impossible, especially at my age. It's so funny that when you realize the GMOs and the Roundup and the pesticides and all the shit that goes into, majority of it goes into plants. And all these vegan crusaders are out there saying how bad meat is for you. You have companies like Beyond Meat, and the shit that they put in those burgers is horrendously bad for you. But it's not meat. But yet these vegan crusaders are telling you that the meat is so bad for you. It's hilarious. So let's get technical. So basically, in a nutshell, and I'm sure someone will correct me because everybody knows everything, there's a 21 amino acids that make up protein. There are essential amino acids, there's about 10 of them, that your body cannot produce. You need to get those through diet. I did research and I compared the amino acid profile of beans versus meat. And it turns out that the amino acids in X amount of serving of beans, I went with 100 grams, which is about 3.5 ounces, versus 3.5 ounces of meat. And meat is about the same across the board. So whether it's fish, chicken, beef, pork, whatever. Now granted, meat has a higher saturated fat content, which is not good for your arteries, and that's why we're having this video and this discussion. The amino acid profile of most vegetables, beans, lentils, etc., is about half as high down to a third as high as it is in meat products. So if you have a piece of chicken and you get 1,000 milligrams of leucine amino acid in it, you're gonna get about 300 to maybe 500 milligrams of leucine. I don't even know if that's how you say it. That's an amino acid in beans or lentils. So that is my biggest concern, and that has been my point all along with switching to a vegan diet. Not to mention, on top of that, you have to eat more beans to get the same amount of amino acids as you do in a piece of chicken. Bean stacks this high, chicken stacks this high, and the carb content in beans, lentils, all that stuff is way too high when you're trying to maintain a low body fat percentage. End of story. So, the only thing that I can find that will make sense to me, and I'm going to switch out one of my meat meals, because what I do is I have eggs in the morning. They're organic eggs with my quinoa, organic quinoa, which is pretty high in protein, but there's carbs in there. Then I have a shake. The shake is partially plant-based protein and partially meat-based protein powder. Then I have my lunch meal, which typically is lean ground turkey with quinoa again. And I have another shake. And then I have a piece of fish with a giant salad at night. So what I want to do is I want to switch out that lunch meal, that lean ground turkey, with tofu or tempeh. Those are the only two sources that I've been able to find, someone correct me if I'm wrong, that have a high level of protein with a decent amino acid profile and have a low level of carbs, because I cannot maintain an 8.5% body fat. Yes, that's my body fat percentage is 8.5. I cannot maintain that lean muscle mass with eating a high number of carbs in beans and lentils and all this other. There's some red wheat, I think it is, or some damn thing. It's really high in protein, but it's high in carbs. So that is my plan, and I'm gonna give that a shot for about 3 to 6 months and see what happens. One of the reasons why I'm considering this, another reason besides the health factor, is that when I made all these changes 6 months ago and I seen my body and how I was reacting, I used to have huge, really bad hay fever, allergies. And when I switched to organic, dude, it was crazy. My allergies are gone. So I'm wondering, with some of the things that are in meat and so on, I'm wondering if that will actually improve my health overall, because eating organic has, like I said, took my allergies away. They're gone. One thing I want to mention is being healthy costs money. With the added vitamins, the supplements, with buying organic, organic food is ridiculous. The system is designed to mass produce products as fast as they can for as cheap as they can. It's all about money. And in order to buy organic food, it is very expensive. At the end of the day, can you put a price on your health? No, but most people are on a limited budget. And I will admit, I have spent a lot of money going to doctors, getting tests, having my blood analyzed every couple months, buying organic food. I mean, I have done so much, not cooking with canola oil or olive oil because the heat makes cooking now with organic avocado oil. I mean, I have done so much, but the results are there. So, in a nutshell, if anybody gives a flying rat's ass how my little experiment with veganism ends up, I will do a follow-up video in about 3 months. Just let me know in the comments. Again, people, I do videos based on things that are going on out in the real world, things that affect me, things that are personal to me, in hopes that I can shed some light and in hopes that I can, at the end of the day, help people. That's it. So I'll leave you with this. Always be a man and reach for that can, because if it ain't dip, it ain't shit. And a vegan diet may help you fit in your pants. And remember, smokeless tobacco is made from plants. I'm out! What side you're on, blue or red, it don't matter. It just gets you nowhere. So, that being said, we're about to talk some smack. So we're gonna put us a little